Hello, I am Nancy Sutherland. Relationships are in all aspects of our lives, or should be. Many struggle with relationship building, yet reflection, coupled with purposeful intentionality to build strong relationships, exercise from dutiful study, and self-introspection can result into a paradigm shift. Can you imagine a world of business, marriage, or parent to child of strong partnering relationships? You are to listen to these words reflectively and not be in hurried fashion just to make a check off on your course to-do list. What you will gain in this discussion is tools for your toolbox to help you build strong partnering relationships. In other words, make the art of relationship building be part of your study and activity each day. The results will be transformational in a selling career, as well as any career, and above all, affecting all of your business relationships and personal relationships, meaning spousal, parental, mentoring, and friendships. Thus, be active in this discussion with pen and paper. Pause the lecture and pen applications of your life for the understanding of communication principles to build relationships is learned and typically does not come innate within a person. You must learn, you must apply, you must overcome. When in conversation with an individual in a selling engagement, it is best to give grace, including great grace, meaning pardon of and the ignoring of negative behaviors acted towards you in the selling engagement. The initial stages of trying to secure an appointment via phone or coming and seeing a person for the first time in a cold call or sitting down for the first time in a selling engagement are very new and can be problematic. You can expect a lot of undesired behaviors in these scenarios. These relational engagement attempts are each unique in utilizing the understanding of communication principles. In fact, learning the responses of an individual as you attempt to establish a warmness, hoping for the same reciprocity from them as you are in conversation, trying to present your product knowledge and how your product is a tailored solution to their business need can at times be very hard, as you will encounter many types of individuals, all of which have personality nuances, buying peculiarities, and behaviors that must be learned by you to bring about the sale of your product. These potential buyers can indeed be disengaged. The potential buyer can indeed appear as if they do not want to see you. These potential buyers can truly be no-sees. The potential buyer can act preoccupied and truly be preoccupied. The potential buyer can act what most would label rude. These potential buyers can truly not have a need for your product and be experiencing a true contentment with the functionality, serviceability, with their current business product utilization that you are trying desperately to displace with your product. What do you do with this selling environment? There is a healthy rule in developing communication principles that build selling relationships, including all business relationships and personal relationships. The rule is that you're not responsible for what is done to you in the relational engagement, but you are responsible for your response. If you intend to build relationships, you must learn to not respond with anger and retaliation when you are not treated as you desire. You must learn to persevere and exercise a level of committedness to your potential buyer base. You must be proactive in building the trustful relationship. All individuals desire to be treated with respect, kindness, and full attention in a conversation. Yet many individuals that you attempt to engage for selling your product will not always respond with a warm embrace and attentiveness in all conversations. However, unless you become faint-hearted with these words, potential buyers generally do come around and respond to when grace is given. People know when they are not doing right. Potential buyers are just that, people. When we do not get the desired personal treatment from a potential buyer, this can be a strengthening exercise building our character and professional behaviors. Ranting and raving, including expletives, is paraprofessional. You must keep the selling engagement a professional tone of words. Be the better person and lead the way with true professional behaviors. We do indeed need a corporate cultural paradigm shift and one in society as well. There must be time allotted in the getting to know individuals. Over time, a lot of these type of negatives will fade away when you communicate just putting up with a person. Some of these individuals are testing you to see what you're made of, meaning your character. This may sound brash and unprofessional, yet it's true. You must communicate by your behaviors that your character is committedness and endurance, thereby demonstrating a willingness to serve the customer. This in turn will be the foundation for a true authentic selling building partnership. Relationship building in business is a process. As you become seasoned, meaning practice, this type of work will be part of your innate character. When we communicate as I have discussed, know that patience and grace typically do win, and all stakeholders are served. I entered the pharmaceutical sales territory as what one would label as being green to this level of selling, as I sold print media such as annual reports and 401k savings brochures prior. In selling print media, my appetite became whetted for more selling experience. In this selling industry, the potential buyers did not communicate the level of arrogance and no need for the sales representative as I experienced in pharmaceutical sales. I was tasked with a territory of premier physicians, including cardiologists and nephrologists, when I first began selling pharmaceuticals. Know that specialists as these are even harder to establish relationships as they have more education and credentialing, resulting to feeling no need for the sales representative as compared to primary care physicians and internal medicine physicians. This was my territory. What do I mean by premier physicians? What do I mean by this level of selling? The physician communicates for the most part that they do not need you. They have spent years in school to be credentialed. What could you, as a sales representative, in all actuality provide? Do you see your low-level elevation already as a salesperson going into the needful selling engagement because it's your job? You have already had these negative communications to you ever before you enter into a selling engagement with a physician. You must overcome these words communicated to you. Remember the rule that we have discussed. You can't be responsible for what is done to you, meaning what is communicated to you. But you are responsible for how you respond, meaning what you communicate back to the physician. These physicians were literally no-see physicians, yet I was required to see them. Can you not feel my temptation in your mind? What do you feel in your mind? How would you do the requirements of your job to get the physician to choose your pharmaceutical on his or her patients? I took all this perceived hardship as both a personal and business challenge. I communicated to my mind that I can win these people over with personal selling. The office staff of all which I had to building partnerships with, communicated to me that I could not see them. Please know that I was required to see and have product discussions to bring them into writing my pharmaceuticals. If I did not deliver sales, I would be replaced. I communicated to them relational intentionality. I exhibited impeccable kindness and genuine care for them, their patients, and the surrounding geographical indigenous needs of the people. An example of providing the indigenous needs of the people would be the provision to an entire county of northern North Carolina pregnancy vitamins, as the county's peoples did not have the dollars to serve their pregnant mothers. I worked diligently, communicating my value to their practices through value-increasing behaviors of sample provision that delivered and communicated value to the physicians to have the capability to start a patient with a sample to determine therapeutic efficacy before investing in a full prescription with the possibility of no efficacy with this patient and the loss of dollars for this prescription. I communicated much value by learning about the office staff and from them. I virtually made relationships with anyone in the practice that would let me speak to them. I learned all names and their likes and dislikes. This was genuine in my heart and not a selfish act just to sell. I acted with value-increasing behaviors of handwriting copious notes to physicians, expressing product feature benefits for a patient type and disease state with attached clinical evidence corroborating therapeutic efficacy. With each selling contact, I would communicate another area of which my product would deliver value to him and a patient type. Thus, I communicated value and delivered value consistently. Over time, friendships began to develop, meaning partnering relationships. These relationships with office staff and nurses ensured that my personal writings communicating my value and my product's value were delivered to the physicians. The physicians did read my personal writings to them. I can promise you that I stood out with this level of relational intentionality. By extending great grace and patience, I did over time see those no-see physicians. No one in the territory, including other companies, had done this level of work to establish selling, building partnerships. This is selling excellence, brought about by strength of character. I did not faint in hardness. I persevered. I did consistently communicate kindness and patience. I did wait on the physicians to understand, to hear my offering of value, and eventually really hear, meaning perceiving my value. Waiting is a discipline of character and will truly exercise your inward self. I increase sales phenomenally with these communication principles, utilizing our rule discussed. In under 2 years, I was promoted to hospital sales. I am Nancy Sutherland. I am honored to deliver this business content.